Coming up on WUFT Midday, President Biden has addressed the nation following President-elect Trump starting his transition back to the White House. We have the latest. Plus, a California fire destroys homes and residents are picking up the pieces. Finally, interest rates are falling and how this will affect you ahead of President Trump's term. This and more, WUFT Midday starts right now.
Watching WUFT Midday.
After former President Donald Trump won re-election on Tuesday night, President Biden has addressed the nation. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Nicole Borman. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington with more.
President Biden addressing the nation for the first time since President-elect Trump's decisive victory over Vice President Harris.
We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree.
The president praising Harris for her historic run.
She ran an inspiring campaign and everyone got to see something that I learned early on to respect so much, her character.
President Biden also pledging a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th as former President Trump prepares for his second administration.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
In a phone interview with NBC News, President-elect Trump was asked about his plans for mass deportations and potential cost associated with it. His response, "We have no choice when people have killed and murdered," and stated, "There is no price tag." Democrats are preparing for a political fight.
We're going to have to defend the Constitution and the democracy against chaos in the streets if they're really serious about trying to deport 12 million people and run over the Bill of Rights.
President-elect Trump will likely have some help trying to get his agenda through Congress. Republicans secured a Senate majority, but control of the House remains up in the air. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
A woman is said to be the White House Chief of Staff, and she's rising from Florida politics, where she is credited with saving Governor Ron DeSantis' 2018 campaign for governor. Now she's set to help President Trump, despite her lack of experience in running the government. Her name is Susie Wiles, and she is President Donald Trump's 2024 campaign manager. She has worked on a number of Republican campaigns, as well as served as the Chief of Staff to the mayor of Jacksonville in the late 1990s. And she's one of Trump's longest-serving advisors. He credits her for helping him win the re-election and says that she'll make the country proud as Chief of Staff. The count for Alachua County Sheriff has begun. On Thursday, we told you how it is state law for a recount to be claimed when a race is too close. We will be bringing you the latest on what has changed, but for now, you can see how closely the recount is on our graph. As of this morning, over 130,000 ballots have been counted. Currently, Chad Scott is beating Sheriff Emery Gainey, but only by less than 500 votes. These are the unofficial results as ballots are continuing to be recounted. We will update you on First at 5 p.m. with the new numbers. On Thursday, we told you how a mountain fire in California is forcing thousands to leave their homes. Now, a California woman is trying to pick up the pieces after the mountain fire in Ventura County burned her home to ashes. All that remains of Jessica Graham's home is from the 20,000-acre fire is rubble. Her bedroom walls are the only ones left standing. The fire has destroyed at least 132 structures, most of them being homes. The devastating blaze remains only 5% contained. California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency for the area.
The entire ranch that we live on and have rented for 8 years was engulfed in flames, and propane tanks were blowing up, and he was just trying to do whatever he could to save a place that has been home for us for very many years. And our well on the property that we have ended up catching fire, so we didn't have much water left in our hoses. And as soon as we ran out of water, he was hosing down our roof, and a neighbor's house caught on fire that we shared a garage with, and that just spread into ours, and We used fire extinguishers and as much as we could, but once you know there's nothing you can do, you just try and grab what you can.
The proposed amendment to legalize recreational marijuana in Florida failed. Trulieve is the Florida company that mainly funded the campaign to try and sway voters in favor of legalizing recreational cannabis. CNN's Jamie Offstrom spoke to the CEO of Trulieve about what's next.
Even though the effort to legalize recreational marijuana fell short,
we are actually very encouraged.
Trulieve CEO Kim Rivers says that effort will continue.
The majority of Floridians voted for legalization, and we think that sends a very resounding message to our elected folks in Tallahassee.
This time through the state legislature. When I spoke with others in the cannabis industry, as well as opponents of recreational pot, they all expressed doubts that Florida lawmakers would pass such a bill.
You're the first person who's actually expressed optimism about this. What do you know that they don't?
Well, I mean, look, I think that, as we, we know, right, what the governor was saying throughout the campaign. We also know, First Lady Casey DeSantis and her concerns.
Those concerns included safety risks for kids, the smell of marijuana smoke in public, and the fact that Amendment 3 didn't allow people to grow marijuana at home.
They do not give you the right to grow your own marijuana on your property. And you have to ask yourself, why would they not have done that? Because it would mean less money for them.
Of course, we don't want smoking in public. Of course, we want to make sure our kids are protected. I'm a mom, right? And then finally, I would say home grow, we're huge supporters of. So I think there's more in common than not in common there. And I think that, again, the people have spoken, and I think that we can craft some legislation that, does a lot of what the amendment would have done, but maybe even does it better.
Be on the lookout for scams. Marion County Sheriff's Office says that it's getting a lot of calls about a scammer pretending to be its chief deputy. This is a fake deputy that is asking for your social security numbers and bank information. MCSO says to hang up immediately if you get a call like this, and MCSO is asking for you to spread the word about this scam. A Santa Fe college student is facing charges after campus police found he was carrying a firearm on campus. Campus police received an anonymous tip through its See Something, Say Something reporting portal. Police arrested 21-year-old Jordan Tucker outside of a classroom on Thursday. This put the on-campus charter school on hold for almost 25 minutes. No one was hurt in the arrest, according to the Santa Fe College press release. Police found the 2 handguns in Tucker's backpack. On Tuesday, you can share your thoughts on the proposed ordinance about Alachua County school zone speed enforcement. This will amend the county's code chapter to allow camera enforcement of speed limits in school zones. The county's Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing at 11:30 a.m. The hearing will be at John R. Durrant Auditorium in Gainesville. Next week, you can take part in the Teen Driver Challenge, which is hosted by the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. This is a free one-day advanced driving class on November 16th. The class is to help high school students become safer drivers, as car crashes continue to be the #1 preventable death for teens, according to the Federal Highway Administration. Spaces are still available, so to be sure to sign up at ACSO's website. We are looking at some warmer weather after the past few days of rain. The WUFT weather team is tracking sunny skies, but let's take a quick live look at our traffic cam. We're looking at our traffic camera on I-75 near Paynes Prairie. We're seeing some light traffic right now, but you might see some more on Veterans Day because of all the festivities that we'll be telling you about in a few minutes. Meanwhile, the Hurricane Raphael is moving west, and we're expecting to see some less rain. Here's Kara Rydberg with more on what you can expect to see this weekend. Kara. Is it time for me to put my umbrella away?
Not quite. We have a couple showers over the weekend, but right now our main focus is Hurricane Raphael. Right now, what's really interesting is this area of high pressure right over north central Florida, which is expected to push this low of Raphael out. What's really interesting is looking at how the center of Raphael right here and the upper level low over here are separating. This is indicating areas of high shear, which is going to pretty much limit the risk of Raphael continuing to intensify. This has been reflected in the NHC's new forecast track, with Friday as a Cat 2, and then on Saturday, expect that right around a Cat 1. And then as it interacts with that shear, expect the category to go down, as well as the track to head right south towards the Bay of Campeche. Right now, the tropical outlook, we see Raphael right there, but another area of interest is indicated by the NHC's discussion right now, a low chance, 20% chance in the next 7 days. Really interesting considering of how late in the season it is in hurricane season. We do have less than a month left. Right now, looking at our campus cam, we see those lower level clouds, winds coming out of the east at 5 miles per hour with that temperature right around 81 degrees. Our temperatures across north central Florida, low 80s, high 70s, up to 84 down in the villages, and then 79 still in Jacksonville. But looking at our futurecast, we can see the clouds and the rain starting to come in, really starting to diminish. Just a couple showers here and there, nothing too serious, but again, that cloud cover is going to continue throughout the day and even into the tonight. Our Saturday forecast, 7 a.m., 69 degrees, and then looking at the 5 p.m., 84 degrees with a couple partly clouds here. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, we see the temperature right around the 80s, above normal. Veterans Day, we expect those cloud cover to be limited, and then even a couple cool downs as we get later into the week.
Interest rates are going down. The Federal Reserve approved a quarter-point cut Thursday. The decision comes after Trump's re-election. CNN's Jen Sullivan has more on how his policies will impact the economic climate.
The Federal Reserve announcing Thursday to cut the benchmark federal funds rate by a quarter point to a range between 4.5 and 4 3/4, which means lower costs to borrow.
The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years.
Back in June of 2022, inflation was at 9%, an all-time high. But now it's closer to the Fed's goal of 2%. Slowing inflation and a cooling jobs market help pave the way for Thursday's decision. And it's a decision that will lower interest rates for things like credit cards, car loans, and other debt.
That's good news for American households and consumers.
More cuts are expected in 2025, but the decision could be impacted by a Trump presidency. Trump has called for corporate tax cuts and promised to put tariffs on foreign goods, which could worsen inflation. And if inflation increases, the Federal Reserve won't lower rates.
You can make the argument that you put the tariff in, it pushes up the costs, it pushes up prices.
Powell says the outcome of the election will not affect their policy decisions. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
While you're off for Veterans Day on Monday, make sure to take advantage of freebies and celebrations. There are so many festivities and places offering free things on Monday, but here are a few that you can check out. In Alachua County, you can celebrate Veterans Day starting at 9 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park on Monday. You can take part in the live music, guest speaker, flag ceremony, or look into veterans' health resources. Similarly, you can enjoy live bands from Marion County schools at 10 a.m. on Monday at Marion County's Memorial Park. Or you can enjoy a parade in Levy County on Saturday to celebrate veterans. If festivities aren't your thing, don't worry. You can always get some freebies, whether it's food or access to local parks. If you're looking to enjoy the day off in nature or looking at art, you can visit state parks or Appleton Museum of Art. Or if you're looking for some free food, we've got you covered. IHOP, Dunkin', Metro Diner, and more are offering free items or discounted deals for veterans. Just make sure to bring your military ID. Now let's get over to WFT's First at 5 anchor Alexis Vivanco with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Thanks, Nicole. And coming up at First at 5, a new grant hopes to provide necessary disaster relief to Gainesville residents, and plus how Gainesville is honoring the lives of those with no family. We'll keep you updated on everything happening this Veterans Day, so make sure you tune in today at First at 5.
Before we go, one last check on the weather. Kara, you said we should be getting a little bit more sprinkles in the next few days?
Just a little bit, yeah. Nothing too serious from what we've been seeing from the past couple days. Saturday through Sunday, through Tuesday, actually, we can see those mid-80s and then starting to cool off as we hit Wednesday to Friday. 72 expected on Friday with those clear skies, as well as clear skies showing up on Monday for Veterans Day.
Thank you so much, Kara, and thank you, Alexis. Thank you for joining us right now on WFT Midday. We're back on Tuesday for another edition. We now join Sports Scene with Steve Russell live on WUFT UR Radio and WRUF-TV Channel 6.